something else that is culture related that crossed my path this weekend was, and we'll get into TV later, but I do want to mention and shout out to Jack Harlow, because
that is the only, I ain't gonna hold you, the only white person I'll watch. I love me some Jack Harlow. So Jack Harlow, can you come sit with us on the couch?
We love Jack Harlow.
You and Drewski, I need both of y'all motherfuckers, but I love me some Jack Harlow.
We love, it's like we love Jack Harlow. My girl DJ Millie is his tour DJ, so shout out to DJ Millie as well. But Jack Harlow was on this week's episode of The Shop on HBO.
Yes, damn, I missed,
and it's so
good.
No
spoiler alert. Is it good?
Jack Harlow is such an articulate, eloquent artist. And to hear him talk about his love for hip hop, but also his quest for fame, which he was completely, admittedly sharing about wanting fame and wanting to be good at his craft equally and simultaneously, which is rare, right? Most people start out want to be famous more than they want to be respected in the quality of their craft. He wants both. And he was talking about being in Atlanta and going in and listening to rappers that just right off the dome, punch rappers they call them, right? Like you just go in and you spit your shit and then you stop, and then you spit your shit and then nobody's sitting in there writing the shit down and coming up with everybody's just going in strictly off the dome, right? And he was just saying that it was something that he studied during the pandemic, and he got big over the pandemic. Think about it.
He did.
He blew up during a time when the world was shutting down and kept studying his craft, and he still takes pride in wanting to get better and wanting to grow and wanting to learn and be a sponge. And it was so refreshing to hear that from a young artist, right? Especially as a young white rapper, right? Because you always think about, when we talk about culture vultures, we talk about, the fact that so many people who are young, the younger generation in general does not necessarily have a firm grip on the foundation of the culture, right? And the development of hip hop culture. Right. And so when we have those conversations around the development of the craft, most of these kids are accidental stars. You know what I'm saying? It's like they got one good record and then all of a sudden blew up and it's like, oh my God. And then they disappear and it was like, well, they were famous for 15 minutes.
I ain't gonna hold you. That's on my bucket list.
This kid,
I want to be a one-hit wonder.
Okay. So
I do, Bridget. I told you, just hit me. I just want to do
Chocolate Starfish is going to be your hit.
I know, it is. And we just got to make it to and then we got to make it like how St. John does his songs. It got to be something that could cross over and be like house.
All right.
It could be R&B. It could be hip hop.
We can remix.
Like, we got to remix it like a motherfucker. Okay. You feel me?
Oh yeah. Jack Harlow. Shout out to Jack Harlow for not being a culture vulture, for really respecting and appreciating the craft, the origins of it, and wanting to contribute to tell his story in a very authentic way. And yeah, for just being dope, for being a dope kid, man. Super dope.
Not honestly, we're all liars. I hate it here.
We're all liars.
But we're not lying. We really do love you, Jack Harlow. So
we do.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is interesting, and I'll just say this before I get out here, even tacking on to what you said about Jack Harlow. Everything involves you really studying the craft. So whether you want to be a videographer, whether you want to be a podcaster, don't sit here and think I don't have emails daily that come to me that tell me about what the podcast industry is doing.
Yeah.
But also I sit here and look at what everyone is doing, how they're building. Again, I love a good outline, creating segments, adding things. Me and you constantly talk about what else we can do. Outside of that. Y'all get to see a little bit of that on Patreon.
Yes.
And actually, I want to shout them out, but also I hope that it gets better. Y'all know I have super love for the I Am Athlete platform, and they just extended it to LA.
Oh, dope.
And I miss the regular group, so I hope we get them back. They went to the Girls Got a Veg, which is like some soccer players, and now they're out in LA, and they have Duke, Nick Young, Brandon Jennings, and some other football players. Okay. It's different. Just know everyone can't sit in front of a microphone, and I think that people think
everybody can't go.
Potting is just, we just got to sit here and have a conversation. Oh, that's easy, and it's so much more than that. And I really just hope that anyone looking to get into anything creatively or any passion with artistry is to learn from the people around you and also just try to show up
stay humble.
better.
And when we say, we always hate the humble word.
Don't bring up that word.
But I think the main thing that I think we can replace the word, because you know a bitch love words, honey. The word we can replace with humble, which I think forces a level of humility, is to stay hungry and curious. Stay curious, because if you're curious and you're always eager to absorb something new, it's going to require you to acknowledge that you don't know everything and you don't have all the answers, which in itself is humility. So be curious. Stay curious in your life and in your craft. Always be open and curious, because if you're seeking something out and you're seeking to know more, you're going to have to get your answers from somewhere else. There's always going to be a bigger, greater, higher source than what you're used to in order to get to that next level. So that itself personifies humility. So don't be humble, be curious and keep growing.